each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Good morning. Morning? Yeah, morning. I'm going to do a little bit extra sharing today. I feel like this is kind of an important topic. So I'm going to spread it around a little bit. You can go there too. All right. All right. Oh, all right. Since nobody's here yet, I'm going to do some texting. All right. Those two. Nobody here yet, so I'm just going to keep spreading the word. All right. Should send it to my family and stuff, just see what happens. All right. We got some people showing up. So today we're going to be talking about AA regeneration. Yeah. There is something else I wanted to cover real quick, but I'm not going to get into it too far. So AA is not for everyone. It doesn't work for everybody. If you're not a hopeless alcoholic, it's probably not going to work for you because you're not going to want to put in the work. And I see a lot of people bashing AA to further their agenda, and you just need to stop doing that. Okay. You cannot be in competition with AA. It'd be like fighting air because nothing is going to happen. It'll be a one-sided fight, and you're going to look kind of foolish. Right? So, yes, I understand you don't want to believe in God. I understand you don't want to do the work. I understand that you want to be a normal drinker. Okay, go try it. But you don't need to bash AA to do that. I'm glad you found another way, but any other way that does work doesn't bash AA. In fact, they say AA is great for a lot of other people, but not everybody, and that's okay. Wow. There's no competition in this. There is no competition in this. And people that do think this is a competition has an alcoholic mind. Hey, Mandy. You guys say hi, Gary? If not, bye. So, AA Regeneration. Welcome to the Daily Trudge. My name is Dion. I will be your host. If you're here, please say hello. Whether you're watching the live or the rewatch, it's always good. Amber, good to see you. All right. So lately, I've been discussing here and there that there's a part of me that's just unfulfilled and frustrated. And I finally put my finger on it. Over this last week, I have been through a lot of changes. I'm not the person I was a week ago. Sometimes quickly, sometimes slowly. Every now and again, I get what's called the 2x4 effect. And it means that God slaps me with a 2x4 upside the head. And, maybe not the best way to put it. Right? See, there's a part of me that's very, very creative. Okay? And I'll give you an example. I used to run live action role playing game. Okay. So imagine that you have 20 people that have made up characters, and each one of these people has a storyline behind them. And then you have to create a storyline that will match their adventures with orcs and wizards and magic and all these other things through a process of storytelling. And I did great with it. I'm unable to tap that portion of me. And that's the frustrating part. That's the frustrating part. Since my meds have been upped for a year and a half, I haven't even wanted to play my drums. Okay? My meds are standing in the way. My meds. Okay? I've been on them long enough. I've been on depression meds for, I don't know, 5 years now. I didn't really take them before. Everybody's like, you need to be on depression meds. So now I feel like I've worked through it. So it's time to get rid of them. All right? It's time to get rid of them. It's time to move forward. You know, because there is a part of me that's missing. And it, you know, when I sit here and say that the Daily Trudge could be better, that's what it is. That's the missing part. Right? Because I come up with ideas that make people feel very, very inclusive, that bring people in. And that's the frustrating part. So, you know, and why am I sharing that? Because maybe you're going through it too. Or maybe sometime down the path, you may come to that recognition. Okay. And I talked to my therapist about it, and I pay her, so she's not allowed to disagree with me. Kidding. All right. So I'm going to read from, it just got really hot in here. Actually, it's my anxiety. Out of nowhere. Out of nowhere. Don't be surprised if I take my shirt off. Woo. All right. Tricks. There's tricks to this, so give me a second. Give me like 20 seconds. I'm just grabbing something. All right, I'm back. I'm going to be, and we don't usually read out of AA Comes of Age because the stories get quite lengthy. All right, you may hear a little extra noise. So here's a trick for people with anxiety, a fan. See, sometimes what I do, well, it was written page 46. So what happens is now the fan is hitting me. What it's doing is it's cooling me. And what happens when you do that and you have anxiety is it starts to regulate your breath. Okay? Notice I always have this. It regulates me. It's not the soda, it's the ice that regulates me. It's these tricks that I do to bring down my heart rate. And they're just little tricks. Try splashing as, I do this a lot. Like after I'm done with my shower, I'll make the shower really cold as I can get it. And as I can stand it with being comfortable. and I let it hit the back of my neck and cool down my core. And it actually helps me relax, and it regulates your breathing. Throw cold water on your face. They call that diver's breath. It works. It does. It feels silly, but as cold as you can get it. All right. Now, I guess it's a Virgo things, right? All right. So AA comes of age, page 46. I'm actually going to go back to page 45, probably the bottom paragraph, because it usually leads into it. Gives me a little bit more to talk on, because there's a very bit. So, yeah. You know, they also now have these little fans that you put around your neck. I'm thinking about getting one of those. All right. So page 45 in AA Regeneration. In substance, this is what they said. In AA, we see an unusual number of social and psychological forces working together on the alcoholic problem. The other day we talked about this and said it takes a tribe. It takes a tribe. Yet fully allowing for this new advantage, we still cannot explain the speed of the results. See, that's something that they doesn't. Okay, and let's just get to the next line. AA does in weeks or months what should take years. What should take years, according to our doctors, our psychologists, our psychiatrists. Okay? And these people are exceptionally smart. And they're not wrong. They're also not wrong. Okay? It's just that we were dealing with something beyond their own capabilities also. Okay? Not only does drinking stop abruptly, but great changes in alcoholic motivation follow in a few weeks or months. Okay, and this it's coming up. Okay, and there's a little point. Okay, I'm gonna wait to talk about that. Okay. There is something at work in AA which we do not understand. We call this the X factor. You people call it God. You can't explain God, and neither can we, especially at the New York Academy of Medicine. That's the difference. It's what makes the difference. Okay? There are going to be a lot of people that don't want anything to do with it. And that's okay. In fact, what I was talking about earlier about bashing AA to improve your own agenda. I mean, I literally just watched one, and she literally said, I didn't want to do the work. I wanted to drink normally, and that's not what AA is about. And she is correct. She's correct. That is not what AA is about. But don't go and say it didn't work for you when you didn't do the work, when you didn't even try, when you pulled out your contempt prior to investigation card. Okay? If you don't want this way of life, it's not going to be forced down your throat. But don't come bitching in my area, or you're going to find some very strong boundaries. Such is the paradox of AA regeneration, strength arising out of complete defeat and weakness. The loss of one's old life as a condition for finding a new one. But we of AA do not have to understand this paradox. We only have to be grateful for it. I actually understand the paradox. In the beginning, I did not. I did not understand the fact that I was literally going to have to get rid of my old self. Get rid of my own self. See how fast my anxiety went away? Did you see that? All right, Ingrid. Good to see you. Okay, it's gone. Weird. And I'm finding it to be And the more I talk about it, the more because see, what happens is when we do these things and our intentions start to focus on these things, then you start getting the answers. If you are open-minded and performing the work well, right? Yeah. Right? So, in order for us to find our new selves, in a sense, the old person needs to die. Okay, and it's one of the paradoxes of the program. What's another paradox of the program? That you can't keep it unless you give it away. That is a paradox. A paradox is something that goes against the reasoning, right? So now I'm going to read out of here. I'm going to read the other caption portion, right? 1,000 beatings by John Barleycorn did not encourage me to admit defeat. John Barleycorn is alcohol. And I know you know, but there's a lot of people that don't, so get used to it. Okay. This is one mistake that I have made in the past. And I'm going to bring it up now to remind myself. I have to remember that not everybody knows what I know. Not everybody knows what you know. So let's give a little leeway for that. There's a lot of things I'm ignorant about. Okay? I'm ignorant when it comes to being pregnant. There's no way I could tell you what that's like. And I'll never be able to tell you. But I can empathize with it. Right? Okay. Now that I'm off topic, let's get back to on topic. So 1,000 beatings didn't even bring us. No. Why? Because we thought that was our best friend. We thought that it was a solution. I didn't know that it was out. Well, I did. Okay. But there was a part of me that just denied the fact that it was alcohol doing it to me. I just denied it. I believed it was my moral obligation to conquer my enemy friend. See, we feel we need to fight that inward battle. And we don't need to. In fact, in order for it to work, you need to stop fighting. Which could be really hard when you're in a battle for your soul. So what do? We're in a battle for our soul. We're going to lay down our arms. We're going to put up the white flag. We're going to surrender. Okay? But we are not surrendering to our old selves. We are surrendering to a power greater than ourselves. Okay? That is not today's coffee. Yeah. Sorry. I don't know why I'm laughing at that, but yeah, man. All right. Anyway, should have checked the cup first. At my first AA meeting, I was blessed with a feeling that it was all right to admit defeat to a disease which had nothing to do with my moral fiber. Okay? I knew instinctively that I was in the presence of a great love when I entered the doors of AA. With no effort on my part, I became aware that to love myself was good and right, as God had intended. My feelings set me free where my thoughts had held me in bondage. I am grateful. I'm trying to put my head around this one. I've had a hard time with that lately, ever since my 2x4 last Monday. I guess I'm just not connecting on this one, and I'm trying to, because I didn't feel blessed with the feeling that it was going to be all right when I got here. I did not feel that way, right? And I'm probably and that it was all right to admit defeat. Okay, So okay, So the first honest thing I said, yeah, okay, I don't know. Yeah, that's what they're getting to. Okay. And that it was all right to do. And that had nothing to do with your moral fiber. Kind of like that. I don't know if it's true, but I like it. My tummy says it's good. So my intuition, I'm going to go with my intuition. I'm also going to go with the person speaking here, and I'm going to agree with them. Yeah, I'm just going to say this. We all meet anyway. Should I just start doing this I was going to today and then I forgot. Should I just start doing this at noon? Should we just turn this into a meeting? No, I can't turn it into a meeting. Okay, that I can't do. Okay. All right. I knew instinctively that I was in the presence of great love when I entered the doors of AA, with no effort on my part, and that's what the great part is. It just comes, it just comes. I'm trying to grab something, and it's just not there. Ugh, I feel frustrated. I don't know. I don't want the obligation. I'm going to tell you, that's why I changed my mind. I don't want the obligation. Okay? I just don't. I don't want to I don't want to put another meeting on me right now. Mm-mm. I can't do it. Especially a daily one. Every day? No. I already have enough. I already have a hard enough time at the 3 o'clock meeting, taking care of half that shit, and then my Tuesday night meetings, and now my Thursday night meetings. I just can't. But I would be willing to do this at noon to replace it. That I would be willing to do because I do it every day. But can I work? Can I stick to that commitment? Because see, sometimes I get up and I want to do the daily trudge because it's kind of how I start my day and how I get myself going. So it's important to me that I do that, right? You got it, honey. You got it. Have a great day, Ingrid. It was good to see you. And I know people want that, but it's too much for me. Yeah. So yeah, and it's just I'll tell you what it is. It's because we want the camaraderie. That's what we want, and everybody here is part of the team, one way or another. I know Ingrid, you're not officially on the team, but Ingrid is one of my biggest supporters. She's here all the time. She's consistent. She's my friend, right? So maybe we do have some outlets, and I'm going to have to say that. Let's talk on that a little bit. I've got to say that Bobby and Mandy really got the ball rolling for us for men's mental health. What they did yesterday was absolutely spectacular, and I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for listening to me. I appreciate it. Right? I'm getting a little misty-eyed because I'm grateful. I didn't do anything, and it's nice because I'm seeing this, and my friends are like, you're right, and we need to support that, and that's what was the coolest thing. And it's not just for me. Okay, you guys have already made an effect, and I haven't even put it out yet. They got people talking in their group. They got men talking in their group. This is great stuff, man. I was talking to my therapist today. She didn't even know it was Men's Mental Health Month. She didn't even know. And I told her, I'm a little upset by that you don't know that your company doesn't know that. That upsets me. But she also didn't know when Women's Mental Health Month was either. So, fair, so she was equally naive. And don't get me wrong, my therapist is awesome. So, and you can't have her. She's mine. So, actually, you can't. She's fantastic. young lady too. Very, very intuitive. See, and maybe that's part of it, Ingrid. Maybe it's just we need to let people know. And if that's the case, then maybe I could be less angry about it. Because I'm not angry, but less upset. Okay. And I certainly don't want to take away from Pride. I don't want to take away from Juneteenth. I think those are important too. But I also think that men's mental health is important because, gosh, aren't men involved with all those things? Did you think that if men started to get their head on straight also, that maybe this world could change for the better? We always see posts about, come on, women, encourage women. And I think that's great. I'm certainly not against it. Okay. But our stuff is systematically being taken away. And people don't even know. My therapist had no idea about any of this stuff. Okay, the Boy Scouts is now the Boys and Girl Scouts. But the Girl Scouts is just the Girl Scouts, not the Boy Scouts. And the boys need their own time. Okay? I've gone into this a lot, so I'm not going to rehash it again. Okay? Because that doesn't really stick with the regeneration. So when we bring these topics up, when I bring them up, when Mandy and Bobby decide to have a podcast on it, then people start to recognize it. And maybe this time next year we can all go, hey, guess what? It's Men's Mental Health Month, and we can pull together and do something. This month is not over. We still got 11, 12 days in it, right? And I'm going to let Bobby and Mandy decide, but they've got a few ideas. So, like a panel, okay? But that'll be for the. I'm thinking. Remember, we were going to all do a podcast together. I think we found it because they asked a lot of pertinent questions. So now I think in a week or two we should all go live and answer them. Be really hard to do, but we can do it. Okay, but it is also Mandy and Bobby's show. Okay, which means it's their show. Nope. I'm not going to be the popular one on their show. That's not my job. Okay, but I will do anything to support them on it. Okay, so great job. Good job, everybody. That is regeneration. Whenever you help somebody else out, whenever you do something good in the world, whenever you do esteemable things, you are regenerating not only yourself and your soul. It's your soul that's at stake here, okay? But then other people heal just because you're healing, just because you're being a leader, just because you decide to recover out loud. It's beautiful. It's beautiful stuff. It really is. God, for somebody that thinks he doesn't really say much, I sure do talk a lot. All right. I'll let you guys go so you can go to your noon meetings if you're going. So thank you everybody for being here. I love you. Peace out and have